Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me in this first edition of Water Unscripted for 2023. I'm excited to be with you all, and we're going to talk a little bit today about ChatGPT. I'm sure you guys have already seen it and have been experiencing it with it. So, without due, I will. The way I've structured it today, it's going to be more of a discussion. So basically, I will be talking to the tool while at the same time asking questions, but I will not be doing it live because I don't want it to keep talking. So I'm not going to put the voice. I'm going to make it more interactive. So I want them. It talks a lot sometimes. I will just make some comments about it. Okay, so let me go first to the tool. Streaming. Okay, so it's working. So let's go first to the tool and start asking a few questions. So my first question will be like introduction, asking the tool, thanking them for being here. Hello, ChatGPT, for joining me today. This is what I like about it is that you can type anything you want, and then it will correct. You don't have to really be specific in terms of spelling. So I would like to interview you about the water industry. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time to think through, and then it makes some mistakes, and which is normal. This tool is still being designed. So I can go back here again and continue the discussion. I would like to have a discussion about the water industry. Let's see what will be the questions. Okay. Sure, let's discuss. So I don't know if you've used already the tool. Here is like the way I'm going to use it is to go through a question and then dive through, and you will see the answers how they come. Okay, so first question will be, what do you think is the future of the water industry? And that's the interesting part, is that it's going to give you tons of comments, okay, like the themes. And here where it's important to have critical reasoning. So I've seen a lot of discussions about saying that maybe we should ban ChatGPT for universities, and because they can write paper and so on. But I don't think it's a solution. It's like when first grammar and the spell check came on board, did we stop using them and said people will not be able to learn spelling? No, not at all. We embraced them. And I think the same thing will happen here. It's going to be more like of a critical thinking and critical reasoning that we need to develop in kids. So let's say here we've got the 5 answers: growing demand for recycled water, expansion of public-private partnerships, greater focus on infrastructure, advance in technologies and data analysis. Okay, so here I can probe it further and say, what about the digital water space? So let's see what it will come back with. Okay, so now we're elaborating more on the digital water space, correct? So we've got, for example, 5 themes. And again, we can go and make it like read them all. If you want to make it like a voice assisted.
Water space is likely to see the following developments in the future. Increased adoption of
so we can make it like a voice discussion, but there is no need, because then it's going to take a lot of time to be able to get all of these points. But here I can see like overall trend is correct, like it's giving you good answers. So for example, increased adoption of smart technologies, integration of artificial intelligence, digital platforms to enhance collaboration. So all of these points are more or less the points we discuss in conferences, in events, and so on. But what about specific examples, let's say? So I can dig further and ask, can you give specific examples? These are, here I'm being a little bit mean. These are all generalities. So now he's going to give some examples, hopefully. So still not, it did not give like concrete examples, correct? It's still talking in examples in the sense, what can we do with the technology, but not specific cases where it have been applied. Examples of where it has been applied globally. Give concrete examples. So now we're getting more specifics, so we're seeing now there's examples in Brisbane, Australia, okay, and then water utility in the US, West Virginia, blockchain for water transactions, European Union, Singapore, and you see now there are like multiple examples from all around the world that gives you clear understanding. But if we just stopped with the first question, we will not be getting there. Keep in mind, what I've noticed from the tool is that it's been fed with tons of documents, but it doesn't mean that it has gone and crawled all these documents. It has all these documents available for reach, but it hasn't gone through all of them. I think I can probe one of the examples here. Can you tell me who are the main suppliers of digital water technologies? Let's see what will be the reply. Siemens, ABB. Okay, so it's listed 10 companies. I can challenge it here. I can say, okay, but you're missing one of the largest. You're missing one of the largest sensors, let's say, for water quality. Can you guess who is it? Okay, so it went for YSI. Okay, I'll say no, it's hack. Let's see what will be the reply. Oh, it's apologizing now because now it's thinking a little bit about hack, And then it acknowledges the error and say, thank you for correcting me. Okay, so I'll go back to the comment from Antoine. Antoine is mentioning that doesn't sound specific. Okay, and it's a water utility in Singapore. I can't imagine which ones that could be. I know that you know, but yeah, just to challenge ChatGPT. Let's go back. And this is where the critical thinking, Let's go back to Singapore. What was the utility company that you mentioned? And what I love about it is that you can type anything. You don't have to have the right spelling, and capital letters and so on. You just type anything. And the beauty is that it can trigger and understand the question. So it went and detailed a little bit about PUB. So I think now we've got the answer, correct? So as you see, it's all about knowing what to ask. Don't expect the tool that it will get you everything you need. You'll have a little bit to do your own digging and try to understand more where you want to go to and what you want to reach. Okay, so we can continue. For example, saying being more specific. Let's say you spoke about spoke about the global trends. What about Africa? I'm not even asking again about water in Africa because it knows this topic is all about water now. So now it's staying more on the digital water side. And what's good about it is that you can kind of play with the document. So I can tell it, for example, can you please summarize this answer in 2 lines? Okay, it's a long answer, so I just want it in 2 lines. So here's the beauty about it, is that it can connect multiple dimensions. So we're talking about the water industry, but also it can take into account other documents. So if I say, for example, what is driving the growth in the water industry, for example. So here we can go with a follow-up question coming from Bjorn. Hi, Bjorn. So I will follow up. I'll be specific on Africa, Bjorn, because anyway, it's more needed compared to other places. So how do we solve, what was the question exactly? The global water crisis. Let's see if it's refocus on global or it stays in Africa. This. Here's a standard generic approach. I've seen like at multiple cases, it talks about multi-faceted approach, multi-solution, multi. I like this comment from Antoine. It sounds to me like he simply listened to your interview on my podcast. Good one. In fact, it has information up to 2021. So our interview was before 2021. So yeah, definitely. And so Bjorn, you see like the answers that came, talks a little, more or less the themes that we always talk about. What actions can we take now? No, I'll say this is too overwhelming. This is overwhelming. What specific actions can we take now? Reduce water usage makes sense. This is something we can do. Advocate for policies. Here's another question from Tom, to go specific on the South African. Let me see if I can copy so I don't have to type it again. No, I have to type it. How to solve water sewage spill, the spillage on the South African coast. On the South African coast. Let's see. Oh, so sometimes you get these errors. I think because the tool is just still being developed. So you reconnect, which is relatively quick. Okay, and then you re-ask the question. See, this is a typical answer, like combination of, I think this is based on the model that was built. It's based on something called GPT-3, and I'm sure the 4 version will be even much better. So upgrading infrastructure, which is kind of challenging in terms of investments, improved maintenance, regulations, enforcement of regulations, and public-private partnership. So can you tell us more about the innovative technologies? You see, like, you need to always be able to dive through and ask further questions. Nice comment from Robert, lots of money. So I have another question for you guys. I'm going to push it through now, since we are talking about money. So how do you think the ChatGPT would impact the water industry? Do you see it as a positive or a negative development? Let me know what you think. Let's continue. Chat. Please continue to do all the questions. Bjorn is asking about the numbers in the next lottery. This is not really related to the water industry now. I can ask this question at the end. So Antoine, I agree with you. It's still vague. You have to really go specific to get to a specific question. It's not going to solve the challenges. We need to really be using it as an advantage. And this is one of the questions I've asked down. If you can write your comments, then we can see it. So I'm going to shift gear now and move more to the technical side. And then after the technical side, I'll go more onto something I've experienced with that is really powerful. Stay with me and you'll see like what I'm talking about. So let me go first now to a question that was asked by Ron Kern. Ron is on a different time zone, so I don't think you will be able to see it, but I'll go ahead with the question. Okay, so here's the question. Let's see what ChatGPT will say. It's about the indexes. So it was not able to tell what we're talking about. So I will say, I will be more specific. And this is where you need to have a knowledge. You cannot just sometimes send questions and assume it will understand. So I'll tell her, how come you're not aware about the LSI and Co? You see, so now she knows what we're talking about, but she didn't get it when we said lingerie with S and Reisner's with S and so on. So what are the major indices in the water industry? Let's see if you can pull them now. Okay, so pH, very basic. This TDS, same. It's not really like the formulas. So I can say, other than LSI, basic one, these are basic ones about the complicated. I'm reading the comments there. Some of them are really funny. That's true. It will not. I think that is the real danger in using such tools, Antoine, is that because it's coming from AI, you have this, outstanding, like this behind the scenes, this bias to confirm what the tool is writing, which sometimes is really wrong. I'll give you an example. So I ask, for example, what are the largest industrial water companies? What are the largest industrial water technology suppliers in the world? So because it's AI, we tend to think that it will give the right answers, correct? So here it is: Xylem, Veolia, Suez, Danaher, Ecolab, Pentair, Grundfos, Mitsubishi, Hitachi, and IDEX. So originally, when I asked this question a couple of times last week, it kept bringing in GE Water and Process Technologies. So I kept telling it that GE Water and Process Technologies has already been sold. And then when you say this, then it goes again and search the existing database it has and comes back saying, oh, apologies. In fact, GE Water was sold in this year and. So it's not really on its own. So, but if I didn't know a little bit about the water industry, I would have thought that, okay, this company, GE Water, is one of the biggest. But then here you can challenge it, but wasn't, for example, Suez sold to Veolia? We know like not all Suez, part of Suez was sold. So let's see what will be the reaction. Yes, you are correct. Suez was acquired by Veolia in September 21. You know, so of course the information is not always 100% accurate, but it's a good start. And I think the difference between here and if you're doing a Google search, you know, is that if you're doing a Google search, you'll have to go open many links, try to get the information from everywhere, and try to make a conclusion. So it saves a lot in terms of research and water. So here is another example. Let me ask, what can it do for the water industry? So ChatGPT, what can you do for the water industry? Okay, I'm not going to fix the mistakes. Let's see. Okay, so here it's saying what it can do for the water industry. And I think these are the things we can really pull. We should not give it more expectations than it really can do, at least at this stage. We're just early stages of you know. Let's give some example of that it can do, you know, like in terms of content generation, as long as it's correct and we challenge that to have the right article and the right content. Customer support, it can pull. I'm sure it can give much better customer support as a chatbot compared to the tools currently available. And you know the frustration we get when we ask for some questions. Decision support is a bit, I think, little bit behind. But one of the things I've seen, for example, coding, you know, it can generate like 80% of the code can be written today with ChatGPT. So basically, if you're doing a coding for the digital water space, there are a lot of things you can be done. So, and it's a good question, Muhammad. And what will happen to Google? It's a big debate now. Everybody is wondering if it's going to take market share from Google or not, knowing that Microsoft has 49%. With the new deal, will have 49% of OpenAI, the mother company of ChatGPT. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future. Okay, so next I'm going to show you like something that really is good and I've experienced with press releases. So are writing content. So let's say, for example, I want to write a new press release about being appointed on the Westpac advisory committee. So let's say, and check how much time it will take. So what time is it now? 23. Okay, so let's check how long it will take. So I just say I want to write a press release about me being appointed to the Westpac advisory committee. Okay, see the process, how cool it is. So it didn't know my name. Okay, so I have to explain to her. Even though we've been working together for the last week, I'm very disappointed that you don't know me yet, but what to do? Walid Khoury, General Manager. What else do we need to fill in? You see, it's created even a quote, which is funny. You know, like it has already gave a quote, and it understands that we're talking about the water because it has done its research about Westpac, you know, and the advisory committee. Westpac, so it already populated everything about. Okay, What else do we need to change? Let's see. Okay, let's see. I just pushed all of this at once, yeah? What I'll do, in parallel, I'll go and Google Westpac Advisory Committee. Okay, I'll just copy a little bit of what's the role of the advisory committee. Okay, just to help it to get a little bit more content. Okay. Just a second, I'm getting the information. Okay, this is the Westpac Advisory Committee. Okay, so it's even put it's even writing the about the analytics, you know, it created it, which is good. Okay, so then I push the last section. I'm going to push this one. Okay, stop generating. Let me just push. Okay, generate response. Okay, it's confused now. So you just refresh. It's continuing the answer from before, you know. But anyway, you see, like in just how much time? It's like 4 minutes, let's say 5 minutes, we can get a press release, which is more or less acceptable. Okay, and can push it out in the market. So in terms of content generation, in terms of content marketing, and so on, I think it's going to be really a good tool in terms of disseminating information. So that's it from my side. I just wanted to give a high-level overview of the tool and encourage people to use it. It might not be perfect, but as of now, it's probably the best tool we have in terms of generating content, searching for answers. Of course, the more specific you are, the better you will be. And it's going to be definitely like work in progress. They will be improving the tool. But I just want us to make sure that it exists and understanding the potential and what can be done with it. So thank you all for joining today. I think it was a great session, and I'm looking forward to meeting you all in 2023. I'm already scheduled for multiple conferences, so definitely we'll have the chance to meet anytime soon. So thank you all. Bye-bye.